how I got out of serving 20 years in prison for my violent crime 10 years ago. It was criminal domestic violence at a high and aggravated nature. It was one under attempted. My cellmate had a felony DUI. This was about my 11th arrest, and most of my arrests were criminal domestic violence. So I had a record. This one was really bad though. My bond was 25 grand. Nobody wanted to help me. The only option was really to better my life, but that was not offered by the courts. There was no one bonding me out. The first person I always called when I went to jail was my nanny because she lived in the town of the jail, and I'm her oldest granddaughter, and she always answered. Her next door neighbor was head of like the public defender's office and was willing to come speak to me. So I had a legal visit, and he kind of like painted a picture, and he was like, your charges look alcohol induced. If you go to treatment, you will most likely get out of prison time. I was out of options. I couldn't go back home to what I was doing before. My parents were probably not going to let me go live in their house they were letting me live in. The women I met in there were so helpful, from like bondsmen to like next plans to what I could be facing. My cellmate was the one that took me literally by the hand to an AA meeting in there, and it was the first time I'd ever really been introduced to AA, and I started reading that book, and it just clicked. And my mom finally answered and said that she would help me if I decided to go to treatment. So I had a network. I had people behind me supporting me. So I sold my car, bonded out. They took me 3 hours away to treatment. And there they told me that if I did everything that they said, follow the directions, that I would get my life back. And I probably won't do prison time. And they protect you. They want you to finish your program before you have to face anything, because you're going into anything with this recovery under your belt. You can do anything. Like, I have been able to face anything. I've lived through your worst nightmare being sober because I have the tools. Now, everyone gets sober differently. There's so many different types of recovery, but I mean, a lot of people have gotten sober through AA, and it worked for me, and it continued to work for me. But then I got into a Christ-based recovery group this last year, and it's completely changed my life. But I ended up going back to court after coming back home from rehab, and I was gonna take it to trial. I don't know why I picked a jury.